Hey guys, Colton here from the Eevee Kingdom, and welcome to part 3 of What If Yang Was Trained by the Z Fighters. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys are noticing that this isn't the picture I had for the last two parts of this What If. And you are correct. Again, ownership to the original artist. This isn't mine. But honestly, I had this planned for a while. Well, I wanted the first one to be more of a representation of her learning and for the rest of the series I wanted it to be more of her after training. So yeah. Also I wanted to use this picture so here we are. Now a few things I want to discuss before. One, I am gonna go over the power levels again and just either add an additional 0 or just make it a little higher. So Salem, I'm going to say, is at 2,000 rather than what I claimed her power level was in the last part. And also, let's say Weiss is around 500 rather than in 50. Still pretty low, but honestly, I'm not good with figuring out how strong someone would be in Dragon Ball standards. Pokemon, I have an entire formula for that. Other characters, however, not so much. So this is going to be more trial and error. So I'm just gonna make them a little stronger, nowhere above 2,000 though. So yeah. And also, I'm gonna change a little bit of the story since, thinking back on it, I kind of wanted to go back to how I started my what ifs with an in-depth look in the character's story. I liked the first part of the Blake what if because I actually went into detail about how the Naruto universe exists alongside the RWBY universe. Here's how Blake met Naruto, the reason why Blake stayed. Yeah, I went into a lot more detail. This one, I kind of just did what I thought was good at the time without fully thinking it through. Which is honestly a problem for me recently. And I know this is going to be a little longer than normal. But just bear with me, please. And if you don't want to, just skip ahead till I actually start the what if. But it's not gonna be that big of a change anyways. I'm just gonna have Goku wish for someone with a strong potential to be someone with a strong potential to be his opponent. Basically he wanted someone who could be stronger than him so he could get stronger off them. From fighting them. Sorry if you hear a lot of wind blowing or rain, it's really windy today. So yeah. And the second thing, Yang is not learning the Kaioken or the Mafuba. I kind of forgot at the beginning of Dragon Ball the Mafuba was a technique you only use as a last resort because you could die. And thinking about it, Yang wouldn't really have any way to learn the Kaioken. So looking at the power levels, I'm gonna have to alter things a little bit. But I'm not gonna do that in this video. No, because I'm going to start it now. Now, in the last part of the What If Yang was trained by the Z team, I pretty much went through everything that happened and started on the exam, the team selection exam, or whatever they called it, the forest. Basically, at that point in RWBY, Blake, Inky, and Yang teamed up along with Weiss and RWBY, and they took down that Grim pretty easily. Now, a few differences because I'm just gonna will blow past what happened in the series at this point, and until we get to another serious point, but Yang would actually be taking her studies a little more seriously, but if she's bored, or she will do some meditation. RWBY, similar case, but less meditation and a little bit more goofy off, but she still takes it serious. So when Weiss is in Port's classroom, she's only slightly annoyed, but still thinks she's better. And it's not as bad as it was in the original, but not much changed either. Everything involving John stays the same. The only exception is Yang does offer to at least help. Now, I'm not gonna say John can now will be able to start firing off Kamehamehas. No, just basic physical training. And it's only an offer. I might not go with it in the end. But yeah, we do get to the entire Weiss and Blake part of what? Get to the Weiss and Blake moment of Volume 1. And a lot does change, actually. In a sense, two of them can sense key, and the other two can somewhat do it. Not more as reliable, though. They have an easier time finding Blake. Also, I think Blake would know this and try lowering her power level, but since she's not used to doing that, and it's not a huge success for her. And we have the entirety of Team RWBY facing Roman in the White Fang in Volume 1. And Yang's doing more of the heavy lifting. So I don't think Penny would reveal that she's a robot, and she doesn't get banned from seeing RWBY. Which really works. Works better in her favor in Volume 2. Everything else would happen the same, and speaking of Volume 2, again, we have a lot of similarities. Just because as they get stronger doesn't mean a lot of the points in the series will change. But I will at least state this. They do still go separate and find information about Roman, the White Fang, and all of that. RWBY does figure out Penny's a robot, but through different methods this time. And they'll stay friends. The fight with Roman will, however, change. I went through this in my head a few times, and I just see this happening. They would all literally have a better time taking out the robot. In fact, I think it would happen sooner rather than later, just through Yang's power alone. Oh. And Neo does come in and try tricking them, but okay, here's the thing. In the last What If, Blake didn't notice it was an illusion, but they were already in the air by the time it happened. Yang, she can fly, so when they do realize they've been duped, Yang just bolts up there, knocks the plane down, and drags Roman and Neo. So, believe it or not, Roman and Neo are both in jail. Cinder's plan is already falling apart. Now, Adam did agree to help in Volume 3 at the end of Volume 2, so I think he would still agree at this point, so not much will change for that, but a lot will still change. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the dance. Yang still had the exact same personality and experiences in the past, so her and Blake still have that moment. I also want to say that Raven and Ty have been calling occasionally. Need to check on them. And I think a little bit of joking about dances, what happened. Anyways, he's that would all go the same. Ruby would have a easier time facing Cinder, but Cinder is known for her trickiness, so she would find a way to escape. Now, that brings us to the last part of Volume 2. And thinking about it, this is causing the biggest change whatsoever. I mean huge. Okay, everything else leading up to RWBY getting captured would still happen. RWBY being a little bit stronger could get out of the way. Adam, and since Roman's not here, would have to try using more force. The rest of the Team RWBY gets there, and the train scene happens. Weiss is still gonna have a hard time with her opponent, but since Neo's not there, Yang stays back to help Weiss out, making that fight a little bit easier. Blake, yeah, she's definitely stronger, and where I have her here, she is definitely stronger than her Volume 1 counterpart. But the thing is, she was panicking and she was facing Adam for the first time after running. So Adam had an advantage against her. No matter how strong you get, if you're in shock or in terror, you're not gonna go all 100%. So Blake is still on the back foot. Yang and Weiss come in, and the entire scene from Volume 3 happens. But this is where I'm gonna leave a question for the what if. Do you think Yang would lose her arm? I mean, the exact same thing's gonna happen, but three different things are in place. One, Yang is leagues beyond Adam at this point. Two, Weiss is there, and if he could catch on, she could use her semblance to boost Yang's speed. And three, even if Adam did cut her arm off, Yang would just still be standing and punch him right in the face. He's sending him flying and knocking him out. So, I could say Yang doesn't lose an arm. And even if she did, it's not gonna really cause a huge effect as it did in Volume 3. So yeah, do you guys think Yang would lose her arm in this, or would she just keep it? Anyways, Adam gets pretty much pummeled and knocked out, and they stop the train. With a teacher there, they could get a message out and end up getting Adam and a lot of the White Fang members there arrested. Now, Cinder doesn't have a plan here. I mean, there was no Grim attack in Beacon, so there's not that fear you're sinking in before the Vital Festival. And I'm gonna say this now. Now, Yang is not gonna participate in the Vital Festival because she knows she's a lot stronger. She's seen Saiyans in action. She knows she would instantly win everything. And without the entire team participating, they can't. So, you're not gonna have Yang accidentally break Mercury's leg. So, no fear from that either. The only thing that would happen is, Penny getting torn apart. And even then, there would still be a lot of differences. So, Volume 3 might actually have the most change in it. I'm gonna have to think through that to see what all would change, but from what I can think of right now, we're gonna have a completely different RWBY by the end of this. And I mean everything will be different. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I don't want to get past volume 2. Because I want to make volume 3 and possibly volume 4 their own videos. But yeah, let me know in the comments if Yang would lose her arm against Adam. I'm not gonna change the fact that Adam's not getting out of this. But I will say Yang's arm's up in the air for this. Pun not intended, but I could possibly intend it. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy. Or let me know about that, and if you like this picture better than the other, and I will see you all later. Bye.